Hi everybody, Carl Schoof here from GreenSock, and today I just want to walk you through getting started with creating HTML5 output from Flash Professional that is animated with the GreenSock animation platform. This is not going to be a deep dive into the GreenSock or Create.js APIs. I just want to show you how to get started, because I know a lot of you guys are probably switching over from creating Swift banners to HTML5 banners, and I think there's a lot of potential here with this workflow. Alright, so most importantly, I'm working in Flash Pro now, and my file type is a canvas file, okay? So when you're starting from scratch and you do a file new, you want to make sure that you're selecting the HTML5 canvas and not the typical ActionScript 3 file for Swift output. So we're just going to hit cancel there. And on the stage I have just a few elements. I have this thing here called banner top that contains a few different elements. I have my Flash logo, my Create.js logo, and my GreenSock logo. And I'm just going to make a little animation where things slide in and baboom will be done. Now, what I want to start out with showing you is that in my folder right now that I'm working out of, I just have the banner FLA and then the recovery file. I'm going to do a quick export. Alright, so I'm just going to do our command return. That's going to test in the browser, and you'll see now that here's my HTML5 banner. This is not a Swift, alright? So everything worked fine, and as soon as I do that, Flash is going to generate an HTML file, a banner.js file, and an images folder that is going to have a sprite sheet of all the images that I'm using, alright? So pretty cool. It outputs all this stuff for me, and that's where I can find it. Now, before I get into using GreenSock, I just want to show you that when I'm working in this canvas document, all the script that I write is going to be JavaScript and not ActionScript. But I think you'll find the JavaScript that you write is very much like ActionScript, because the Easel.js API makes it very easy to talk to the canvas in a very ActionScript-like way, and the GreenSock API is nearly identical in JavaScript and ActionScript. So the first thing I want to show you is just how we can target a property of one of these movie clips on the stage and change it like this. We're going to use the keyword this.bannerTop, and I'm just going to set the rotation to be equal to 180. I'm going to test my movie out, and then there you go, I spun it around. So the next thing I want to do is show you how we can animate these properties using the GreenSock animation platform. So here I am on the GreenSock homepage, and I'm just going to click the download GSAP button so that I can quickly grab the CDN link to Tween Max. I'm just going to copy that out, and we're going to paste it into our HTML file that Flash generated for us. So let me close this window. We don't really need it anymore. I'm going to go to my Finder, and you'll see that I have banner.html there. I'm going to open that with Sublime Text 2, and here's the HTML output that we get. So you'll see that we load a number of the Create.js scripts, Easel.js, Tween.js, movie clip, preload, and then here is our banner specific code in banner.js. I'm just going to put in my CDN URL right there, and then now any GreenSock code that I write in my document should work. Alright, but watch carefully. I'm not going to do any magic here. I'm going to toggle over to Flash, and I'm just going to write a very simple tween. I'm going to say tween light dot to, and I'll say this dot banner top, and we're going to take 0.5 seconds, and we're going to do a very quick rotation of 180 degrees. Alright, so let's test this out. I'll do a command return. Ba-boom! Nothing happened. What's wrong? We just get this error. Well, let's give this a shot. I'm going to inspect the element. We have my dev tools over here, and I get this warning, Tween Light is not defined. Well, I just loaded Tween Max in that HTML page. What's going on? So let's get rid of this. Let's go back to Sublime Text. And what happened? That URL isn't there anymore. Let me paste it one more time, okay? I'm going to paste it in there, and I'm actually going to also do this. Let me just put this heading 1, my first banner, okay? And just so you know that this works, let me save this file. I'm going to go back to Chrome. Let me refresh the page, and aha, there it worked. My first banner, and we saw the rotation happen, okay? Well, let's go back to Flash, and let's test this one more time, not changing any code anywhere. We know the file in the browser works. Let's have Flash generate another one for me, and we get back to this nonsense of the black window, okay? And if I were to check my DevTools again, it would say tween_light is not defined. And if I go back to Sublime Text, we have this nonsense of my tween max script got overwritten, and in my HTML, you no longer have that heading 1 tag. So what's going on? Well, the reason this happened is because by default, Flash Pro overwrites your HTML every time you export. So this can be very frustrating if you're trying to do what I'm doing and don't know about the overwrite HTML property. So we're going to go into Flash, and we're going to go to File, Publish Settings, and here is the culprit. Overwrite HTML is selected. So once we've generated our HTML file once with all of the core Easel.js scripts in there, we want to make sure we deselect this before we make any edits to the HTML file. And I have to say that the Flash Pro team actually added this feature here so that people could add third-party libraries like the GreenSock animation platform. So it's cool that this property is here, but you really got to know about it and what it does in order to save yourself some headaches. So let me just hit OK. All right. I'm going to go back into my little banner file one more time. I'm going to paste in my tween max script, and just for the heck of it, I'm going to say, H1, my banner, and then I'm going to save it. I'm going to go back to Flash, and the next time I export, you'll see that my HTML is intact and my little bit of GreenSock animation test did work. Okay, so let me just close some of these tabs that have been generated. If anybody knows a way to keep the same tab open every time you export, please let me know, because I'm running into some tab management nightmares. So that aside, let's go back in and just talk about how we can make this a really cool GreenSock capable banner. So now, if you're an experienced Flash developer with a little GreenSock under your belt, this is where that all pays off. Switching to HTML5 can be pretty easy. So we're not going to just do a simple tween. We're going to use our Timeline Max tool so that we can sequence all of our tweens. And again, this isn't going to be a deep dive into our API. I just want to show you how you can get up and running really quickly. We have plenty of learning tools available for you guys. So anyway, I'm going to create a variable called logos, which is going to be an array of all the logos that I'm going to be animating. And I'm going to instantiate a new Timeline Max, which is going to be a container for the different tweens that I'm going to be sequencing. So my first little tween inside of this timeline is going to look like this. I'm just going to take the banner top thing and slide it down from the top. So I'm going to say tl.from. I'm going to say this.bannerTop. That this is very important. We're going to take 0.3 seconds, and we're going to come in from a y of minus 105. I'll do a little export, and here we go. So that was it. All I did was I animated in this thing here from the top. All right. Now the next thing I want to do is stagger in these logos. So I'll do a stagger from. The target will be that array of logos. I'll take 0.8 seconds for each, and we're going to come in from an alpha of 0, and we'll do a y of a relative distance of 80 pixels from below, like this. And we're going to do an ease, let's just say back.ease out. And our stagger amount is going to be 0.1. Let's do an export. And there we go. We now have our animation running. All right. So just two little tween sequence there, 2 lines of code. I didn't have to put a bunch of keyframes or layers in my movie. Again, that's one of the advantages of using script. I'm going to make this timeline repeat a few times, so I might just say, hey, you know what? Let's just make it repeat 3 times, and we'll do a repeat delay of 1. All right, so whenever you're making banners, you need to repeat them a certain amount of times. When we're using the GreenSock animation platform, that sort of stuff is really easy. All right, folks, so hopefully you've seen that, if you've worked with Flash for Swifts in the past, that doing it with HTML5 is really not much different. Flash has a lot of great capabilities built in for designing and laying out your assets. I really encourage people who are Flash developers or even just HTML5 developers to check out Flash Pro a little bit more, play with these features. If you're interested more about the GreenSock animation platform, just swing by greensock.com. You can read about GSAP. We have a learning section full of tutorials and getting started guides. And if you have any technical questions, just swing by our forums. All right? So crack open Flash, open up a Canvas document, and try to do some GreenSock tweens. I think you're going to find it's really powerful and fun. Alrighty, happy tweening, folks.